Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Middara. We're moving into our 9th mission, an alternate path. Now before this mission there is no story event, so we're just going to go right into the playthrough of this mission, which is going to be awesome. But before we do, there's a couple things I want to mention. One is that in the last video I actually made a movement mistake. When Rook was adjacent to the cave sickle and I said watch this neat trick, and I moved him one, he attacked, missed, and I counterattacked. That should have ended his movement. He cannot resume his movement after that, and in the playthrough I actually continued moving him up over to this area. Once you decide to do a different action during your action, that stops the other action completely. So he should have stopped moving at that point. The other thing is the urgency token. Again, I wasn't exactly sure if I should have took the urgency token. If at any point there is no monster that has spawned on the initiative track or has actually you have actually encountered, that is when you take your urgency token. So I should not have gained that first urgency token because there was still a animate in the chain over here during that turn or that round of movement and attacking. But the second one I should have gained one because at that point there were no enemies or have any enemies spawning during that round. I hope that makes sense. We're going to continue into this mission, and to find out what happens we're going to read the short little part that is in the adventure book, and then we're going to get to the game. And if you're excited to see if our 4 adventurers can do that, then I need you to meet me at the table. An alternate path. Suri leads you through the cavern's twists and turns until you come to another familiar spot. Like before, collapsing rock has changed the landscape, making it a bit harder to navigate. Luckily, the floor here is still mostly intact. Ahead, more animates prepare themselves for combat. Here's the map that we'll be playing on. If you notice during the intro, I had actually already set everything up, but I just wanted to point out a few things to you here. We do have some of these tokens here that as we hit line of sight to, we will be revealing them in the red revealer. We do start with those 2 animates you saw on the board, and all these red things here now are those stones that are falling from the ceiling and making this place harder to maneuver. Here's our exit. That is our goal, is to get to the exit. So we'll see if we can do that. We need to get to the blue exit. The other thing I want to mention is, I'm not sure if this was a design or not, but if you notice, there's a way to get across here. So technically, I could have Remy fly this way over here, but notice there's a red one here. I can't keep going over this way. So they did I do have to actually come up and around if I wanted to do it that way. Also, this square right here is not in line of sight to this. So if I can get Remy to somehow stand here, she could technically get this treasure without actually triggering this token right here. I don't know if that's how it's designed, but I don't even know if I'm going to do that because, of course, that'll take her out of this fight with these 2 animates, which I think I need to be there. It's pretty animate that I'm there. Our 2 end conditions is if we reach the blue exit, we will win. If we are all defeated, we will lose. There's a chance for an achievement called Proof of Prowess. If you defeat an animate who had no damage at the start of your turn, read the following hidden text. Tell you right now, that's staying hidden. I don't think there's going to be any way I'm going to be able to do 18 damage with the 3 armor that these things have in one shot. But you know what? I will give it my best shot. Finally, there is that objective token that does state when an adventurer enters a space adjacent to this token, read the following hidden text. Before we start, I do want to thank the Depressed Eeyore. He's the one who brought up those errors we made in the last video. Thank you so much for doing that. We're going to be moving into our next mission. And before we do, I do want to say also that we did not get to restore our adventurers. So we're not going to fully heal our characters, but we do get to unexhaust all our cards. And any flip cards we have, we get to unflip. We didn't have any of those. Also, we get to remove any status tokens we had, which does mean all of our barriers are going to go away. We don't have any ability tokens. If we did, they would remain, and they're not removed. And we also do not get to receive a free re-equip action, which would have really helped because I did have some things all around the board that I need to take care of. One of the things being this wand of missiles. This is able to be part of that relic from the last video. I wasn't sure. It is able to be part of the relic, so we did actually get that. The problem is it's not on Nightingale where I was hoping it would be. Let's go ahead and give our initiative cards a good old truffle shuffle here and see what order we're going to have to deal with. I'm hoping the animates are not going to go first or we're going to have big trouble. Rook gets to go first. That's perfect. Oh, then the animate. So actually that's going to be okay. We've got Remy, Nightingale, and lastly we have Zeke. All right, that means Rook's going to go first. We're going to give 3 stamina points to all our characters, which helps a lot. In case the animate attacks somebody else, we do have these stamina points we can use for dodging. Now, of course, when we do go into our first turn after being on the encounter board, we don't get to refresh these 3 stamina points. So if you use them during the first turn here, before you get to act using them, for example, for dodging or something, you're not going to be receiving these back. You're going to be stuck with what you have, but that's okay. Rook is going to go first. He's going to spend his first stamina point to move. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right up next to this animate. That's going to be just fine with me. He's then going to use, it's a tough choice. I think we're going to use this one. We're going to use our fever ability here. I'm going to cast spell 6, deal magic damage equal to your armor value. Then I get to heal an ally within sphere of influence equal to half the amount of damage this spell dealt. If the target of the heal is already at full HP, they're going to gain barrier instead. I'm kind of hoping that that it goes off and I can give him a barrier. So we're going to use that with our 2 stamina points. Again, before we move though, I want to probably do this. An ally within sphere of influence can gain mage armor because it's not going to cost me any stamina points. I'm going to give that mage armor to Remy. We're going to use this barrier token and we're going to give it to Remy. She now has +1 armor. Let's go ahead and see how that spell does. This is going to be a little rough because I am still only rolling a purple casting die. Oh no, we got a 2. So we got a total of 8. Let's see if it goes off. It didn't even come close. They got an 11 for their conviction. So that's it. The spell did not fire off. I don't get to give myself barrier. Oh, this couldn't have gone any worse. Our animate is going to go first. We're going to start with the red one. The red one is actually farther away from me. We have the Chains of Perdition. The first time each turn the animate hits with an attack, make a follow-up, make another attack with the same range and damage type against the same target. So that will probably happen. And Heavy Cleave. The first time each turn the animate makes an attack against an adjacent opponent, it will empower its attack. Now, does the animate have any damage? It does not, so it's not going to heal 2. Is there an opponent adjacent? No, there is not. The red one is actually 2 spaces away from Rook here. Is there an opponent within sphere of influence? It's going to cast spell 6, prioritizing the opponent with the lowest conviction value without darkness. Then it's going to inflict darkness. Then we're going to do all these other things too. But we'll start here with the darkness, and then in the dice tray, we'll go ahead and deal with the rest of these if it happens. I lied, I made up my mind. We're just going to talk about them all. Then I'm going to make a ranged attack prioritizing the opponent with darkness. So if I did get it, I'm going to be attacked. Then it's going to move toward the nearest opponent, making an attack against the opponent with the most damage. So all this is going to take place. Every single one of these being within sphere of influence is the worst possible plan for this animate. So this is going to be terrible. Looking at the board state, our sphere of influence is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's not in sphere of influence over here. Rook is in sphere of influence. He's going to be attacked by that darkness spell. Our animate has a conviction value of white, so we're going to roll this up. See, we get, oh my gosh, a 13. It gets 6 plus 7, 13. I think we're going to see what darkness does here. Yep, because I only got a 7. That beats the die, doesn't beat the 6. He's going to gain darkness. Let's go ahead and take a look at our darkness token. Our darkness token states -1 defense, and you may not dodge. So that is now on top of Rook. That's terrible. And if we continue down the card, it'll make a range for attack, prioritizing the target with darkness. So he's going to roll a orange and a teal die. Let's see how that goes. He got a 12. That means we hit Rook because Rook only has a 9 defense. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 3 over. Then if we look here, he gets another 2 physical damage because we're able to complete this recipe twice. So at 12, he's going to do 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, 4, 5 damage. I'm going to lower it by 4 because I have 4 armor. I'm carrying my shield and I have my armor with the extra thing on it. So we're only going to take 1 damage. I will go ahead and do that. As you can see here, Rook does have a 9, 10 defense because of this, but because of the darkness token, he has -1, so that's why we got only to 9. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 armor, so I'm only going to take 1 damage. We'll go ahead and place this right over here, just a little bit off camera. This animate will now move towards the nearest opponent, so he's going to move right there, and he's going to make an attack against the opponent with the most damage. After making that first range attack, Chains of Perdition is going to go off. So I've taken 1 damage. Let's see what else happens. The first time at each turn, animate hits with an attack, so he did hit. He's going to make another attack with the same range and damage type against the same target. So we're going to roll this up and see how it goes. Oh my gosh, he got a 16. Oh, that's terrible. That's going to be an absolute astronomical amount of damage. I'm not going to add it up. We're just going to use this. Arcurus. Once per encounter, when you are dealt damage from an attack, you ignore all physical damage dealt to you. This is a physical attack. I am going to do that. I'm going to use that one-time ability. So I'll place this on that card, and we won't have to worry about any of the damage that was about to do because it was about to be 1.5 billion. Let's not do that. Now that he's adjacent to me, he is going to use Heavy Cleave. It says the first time each opponent makes, or when he makes an attack against an adjacent opponent, which he is, he's going to roll this die. Yes, he got a skull. He missed. So since he missed, I'm able to counter this guy. Oh, I'm waiting for this. We're going to use this to counter, which is going to be just fine, our ability core. Then we'll roll our 2 white dice that we are going to get from our Morning Star and our medium shield. Let's go ahead and roll this up and see how it goes. Come on, I got an 8. An 8 is not enough to go above his defense, so our counter did not work, but I do have the ability on my Morningstar to reroll any of my dice that I'm using for my counterattacks. We're going to reroll this die, and we got a 7. That's a 13. That's perfect. Now we got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We are 4 over. And I get to get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Minus 3 is going to be 6. We did 6 damage to that animate who apparently decided to come over and try to hit us. And let me tell you, if it wasn't for that armor, we would have gotten massively attacked. So we'll put our 6 damage right here. I'm actually going to put it right here. This will show that this is on the red one. And I'll put the purple ones over here so they're not inside the dice tray. That is fantastic. And that's going to be about it. Make a melee attack against the opponent with the most damage. That worked. He tried his Change of Petition. It didn't work. And that's the end of the animate's turn. Now we're going to move into the purple animate's turn, and he's already adjacent. It says, is there an opponent adjacent? Yes. Make a melee attack, then move 2 spaces farther from the attack. This movement does not provoke break attacks. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to roll his 2 dice, and he's going to empower this because he will be able to use our Heavy Cleave. Let's see how this goes. I want another skull. Oh no, instead I got a 14 with a bunch of books and shields. That's going to be terrible. That was absolutely bonkers. We are going to use this once per encounter ability. We're using all our once per encounter abilities to remove all the symbols from a die. We're going to remove them all from this. So we have 14, and I only have a 9 defense again. So that's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm taking 5. And then if we look at this, I'm going to take 6, 7 damage. Minus 4 means I'm going to take 3 damage from that attack. We'll move that 1, 2, 3, and that's not too bad considering we stood toe-to-toe with 2 animates. This animate is then going to move 1, 2 spaces away from Rook. We'll move to Remy's turn. She has 3 stamina. She's going to use 1 stamina to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right here. And at this point, she will use her other 2 stamina points to activate her Chain of Command, which I'm going to exhaust when making a melee attack. This attack gains Reach 2. So we're going to gain Reach 2 against that red animate. She gets to roll 2 white dice with her one-shot War Axe and see what she got. Oh, I really like that 7, but I don't like the 3. We're going to use our Hammer Helm ability here to exhaust it to reroll any of my dice, combat pool dice when making an attack with a 2-handed weapon. Come on, something good. Oh, a 4. We got an 11. That's not too bad. Let's see how much damage you do. 11 minus 9, 10, 11. So we did 2 damage. Then I'm going to do an extra, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could turn the book into a physical damage for 6. So we're going to do 6 total damage. Then I have this extra star, which I could choose. I think we're going to do this with the Chains of Command. Follow up. Command 3. Force X. Difference of the hit where X equals 6 plus your level of your highest martial discipline. All right, I think that is how we're going to play this. We're going to try to go ahead and command him. So after figuring out all the damage, we are going to be doing 4 damage. I got an 11, 9, 10, 11. That means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I get +1 for this, 7. Minus 3 is 4. He already had 6 damage, so he's going to be taking 10. Now we're going to fire off this Chains of Command. Chains of Command is going to be the force is X plus the difference in hit where X is 6. So the difference in hit right now is 4. Oh, it's 2. It's not how much damage you did, it's 2. So it's 9, 10, 11, only is 2. Difference in hit is 2, and where X equals 6 plus the level of your highest. So 6, 7, 8, my Chain of Command and my oh no, they're both level 1s. Oh, barf. Maybe I should have level 2. 6, 7. So 7, 8, 9. 9 is my force of my spell. Really? X is 6 plus your level, so 6, 7, and then 8, 9. Yep, it's 9. All right, the force of our spell is 9. He's going to make a conviction check against this spell. He's going to grab his orange and teal dice and roll them up and hope he gets less than 9 here. Oh, he got a 10. It was so close. I wonder if there's any way I can make him re-roll any of those dice. Sadly, I do not. Now, I could have done 2 more damage, which means he would have had 12 damage instead of doing this attempt to move him. But if I had been able to move him, I could have thrown him right into a pit and he would have died. But alas, that did not happen. That is the end of Remy's turn. Since these bad guys are right on us, the first thing Nightingale is going to do is she is going to use her once per encounter ability, giving her 2 stamina points and everybody else 1. We're going to load everybody up with some stamina points. Everybody gets 1, and Nightingale's going to get 2. She's going to use 1 right away to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right up next to Nightingale, next to Remy. That'll be fantastic. And now I think it's time to try some gore shots and other awesome spells. And we are going to start with gore shot, and we're going to go after this red animate right there. Gore Shot is an exhaust, but I am going to spend 1 stamina point to empower this spell. So we're going to roll both these dice and see how it goes. We got 3 more books and a 7, and oh my gosh, this is perfect. I love it when she casts Gore Shot and does so well. So she has 13, 14, 15, 16. At this point, I am going to spend my 2nd stamina point to activate our magic staff, which is going to do that ability to be able to hit. Now, this takes place before they roll their conviction check. So we're going to roll our white die for damage. Let's see how we do. A 7! Oh man! That's going to be 17 damage. If this means that if this actually goes off, we're going to do 17 alone with just the magic staff, which is where this actually it made a difference from the last game. I could just kill him with the 2 magic damage and not have to take the irreducible damage if he doesn't get a 17 or higher with these 2 spells. He got a 13. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Animate. 13. That's not enough to be, what, my 17 or something? That's amazing. So I'm going to do 7 magic damage with my staffs. We're at 17. Then the Gore Shot itself is going to do 2 more. 18, 19, he's dead. I do not have to take any irreducible damage to be able to kill this animate. He is gone and off the board. We'll remove the animate from the board, and since this is not a swarm enemy, I am going to gain a combatant loot card, and we have found more gold. We have found 9. That's fantastic. I like the number 9 for gold. Nightingale still has 2 stamina points. We're going to use one of our stamina points here to use Root the Mind. I'm going to exhaust it and try to paralyze this creature, and he has to be within Sphere of Influence. 1, 2, 3, 4, he is. People do not block line of sight when it comes to Sphere of Influence. It's just the only thing that blocks it is this red terrain. So nothing is blocking our Sphere of Influence. Let's see if we can get him. Since I have 1 more stamina point, let's try to empower this spell as well. We've got another 7, so another 13, 14, 15. Let's see if he's able to stop that with his 2 conviction dice. I got a 15. One of them decided to fly out of the dice tray. He got a total of 12. That's not enough, so we were able to paralyze this guy. Oh, that's perfect. So what originally started as just a destroy rook game has just turned into all in our favor. So he is now, you may not take actions or use abilities and discard this at the end of your next turn and gain immunity to paralyze. That's going to be the purple one. I'm going to place that right here to remind myself that the purple ones are the ones with the, I'll just put it right there. There we go. He's paralyzed. That's the end of Nightingale's turn. We'll move into Zeke's. Zeke has 4 stamina. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there, I think, where he's going to move. And that's just fine. We'll use 1 of our stamina points for that. Then he's going to use the other 2 to shoot that bow. And he's going to empower the attack with his 3rd stamina point and try to hit this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares away. Now, he's going to gain 1 defense because I'm shooting through my friends. He doesn't gain it multiple times when shooting through multiple people. He just gains it once. Zeke is the bearer of justice. He's going to fire at our purple animate. And the top part is not going to go off because I moved. But the second part is. It says, attacks made against an opponent that dealt damage to an ally since the end of your last turn gain +2 physical damage. So I am going to gain the +2 physical damage because this animate fire at did 3 damage to Rook. I'm not going to be able to do the exhaust opponent power because, first off, I'm not within Sphere of Influence, and it did not deal 4 damage to Rook. Let's roll our dice up and hopefully get these 5 shields and see how it goes. I got 5 shields. Now let's see if we hit him. I got a 10, and he has a 9 defense, plus I'm shooting through a person, so it's 10. That's exactly enough to hit him, so which is kind of funny. I did exactly 10. We're not going to do any over that, but I do get my damage from all of this, which is going to be 6. 6 minus 3 means we have done 3 damage to that animate. We're going to put it right on top of this paralyzed token right there. Now I do have an ability here on my quiver that allows me to exhaust this to reroll a die before I decide if I want to do the 3 damage. I could potentially use this. Oh, and I get the +2, so it's 5 damage right now. I think we're not. We're going to keep it just as is because I think doing damage is good. If I reroll these dice, there's a chance I might flat out miss, and that would be bad news city. So I'm actually doing 5 because I forgot about the +2 physical damage there. We're doing 5. That's awesome. He is down to 13. We'll give Remy her stamina point, and we'll give Rook his stamina point, and we'll reshuffle up our cards. This is something new from 1.1. I did get a comment going, oh, I didn't know you shuffle these cards. In the original rules of Middara, you did not shuffle these cards. What was out was what was. But in the 1.0 rules, it does say you're going to shuffle these up. Of course, you can always play however you want, which is kind of cool about Middara. It does say that those rules kind of still persist if you wish to use them. We're going to go with Remy first. That's awesome because I need somebody standing next to that animate. Nightingale, Zeke, Rook, oh, the animate's last. That's amazing. Oh, we're going to take this guy down. At least I hope so. Let's give Rook and Remy both stamina points here, and let's see what we can do to that animate. Remy's going to gain her 3 stamina points, and she's going to unexhaust her 2 powers and her War Axe, which is going to be sweet because I'm about to use it. We're going to, I think we're going to fly over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and then maybe try to attack. Or I could jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. Oh, but then I will trigger this. I may have already triggered it. There's a token way off in the distance, and I'm not sure if I can see it or not. I cannot see it right now, but if I move Rook any farther, I'll be able to see the token that's over there. So I do have to keep that in mind, but I really need to get this animate. We're going to have to do it. Remy, oh, now the thing is, if I jump the pit, I could use my empowering die to potentially get more damage onto that animate. But if I don't, then I'm going to have to fly. I think we're just going to fly. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to have to stop, I think, right there. Here's that token I'm talking about that we might be able to see. Now, I have to spend my 2 stamina to fly. Let's see if we can see this token from where I am. We now have line of sight to that token. I think it's going to cross right about here. So let's go ahead and check out our blue token in the book. Our blue totem states, a handful of cave sickles occupy the area. Spawn 3 cave sickles adjacent to this token. I'll place them here, here, and I think we'll put the other one behind right there. I'm going to remove this token. I believe we're done with that. And I don't think they're going to be able to get to us, but we will put out their card. They're quite a ways away, which is going to help us out quite a bit. We are going to take their card, though. We're going to take Cave Sickles 1 through 3 and place it after Remy. So I'm going to move all of these down because this one's going to fly in right here when she's done. She does get to continue moving to right here, and then she's going to make an attack again using her Chain of Command. We're going to exhaust this to attack because I have Reach 2 then. We'll roll our 2 white dice and see how it goes. We got a 7 and a 4. I'm going to re-roll the 4 with my Hammer Helm. We're going to exhaust that and see how it goes here. Come on, something better than a 4. I got a 5, and it even hit off that card. That was a pretty cool roll. Flipped off a lot of stuff. We've got a total of 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means we've done 3, so that's going to soak up by this. So anything else we get is going to be straight damage to the animate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I'm going to exhaust this, and we're going to take another 1 because of our Hammer Helm. So we did a total of 8 more damage. So let's go ahead and put that out there. He's going to have a total of 5. 8 plus 5 is going to be 13. We'll move the 5, which actually I could have just flipped over for a 10, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get a 10. So we did 13 damage. That's the end of her turn. She doesn't have anything else she could do. She could make an attack with this, but in order to make the attack, I have to have Reach, and I've exhausted this card, so I no longer have Reach 2. So we'll move into our Cave Sickle's turn. If we look at our Cave Sickle card, interestingly enough, they can attack. The bottom one says, can it move and attack an opponent within range 4? It has a speed of 6, or a movement of 6. So this one could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and attack. It even could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and attack like that. Now it is going to have to jump this pit, so in order to jump the pit, it's going to roll this die. If it rolls a skull, it has fallen into the pit and has succumbed to death. Let's see what happens. Nope, he safely jumped the pit. He's going to end right there. He's not in sphere of influence of any of his friends, so he's just going to be making a base attack with white dice. I have a defensive core that could allow me to dodge, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save that for another time because I think a couple other Cave Sickles might come in and they're going to become more powerful. Let's see how these 2 white dice do. A 7. Sorry, that's going to miss. No effect from him. Our next cave sickle is right here. He could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there and make an attack on Remy. So he's going to roll a die and see if he falls in the pit. He did not fall in the pit. Oh, come on, I want that skull. This one does have another cave sickle next to it for its hive mind. Now comes the debate. Do I really dodge or not dodge? I'm not sure. Oh, tough. I'm not going to dodge. We're going to go for it and see what happens. He got a 10. Oh, that does mean he's going to hit Remy. Remy only has a 10 defense, so it's just enough. So he's going to do damage with this here. So he's going to do 1, 2 damage. I do have 1 armor from my barrier, and I have another armor from my BA leather jacket, meaning I'm not actually going to take any damage from this. The star and the book do not do anything for the cave sickle, so we absorbed it all with the armor. Thank you, Rook, for the armor. That was amazing. This one's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it can't move any farther or it'd fall in a pit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I should have used my dodge. I didn't realize that. I thought this guy might be able to get to here and attack me. Maybe I should count better next time. And since this one cannot follow its last step, it's actually not going to move. It's going to stay back there. 2, 3, 4, 5, right where it originally started. If you're not able to perform any actions on your card, the combatant will not actually move up. So it's not going to do anything at all. It's just going to stay right where it is. If I were to have hit this and it still couldn't do anything, it would then do one of the final steps on there, which is there because otherwise you could just take pot shots at these things where it would just move up no matter what. But that's not how things are going to go. We didn't hit this thing, and it can't perform any steps, so it's going to stay right there. We're going to move right into Nightingale's turn. I think it's time for Nightingale to finish off this metal man of death and destruction and darkness. She's going to use, actually, she's not going to do anything. She's going to stay right where she is, and she's going to unexhaust her Gore Shot and her Root the Mind, and she's also going to unexhaust her Magic Staff, and she's going to cast her Gore Shot on that metal thing. We're going to roll our die and see how we do. We got a 12. That's going to be pretty good. Let's see if we're able to get this animate. He's going to roll his conviction dice. Oh, he got a 14. That's enough to stop our spell. I was so thinking about empowering it, but I decided against it. Barf. We're going to continue on with my plan. Sadly, the plan was to actually take him out first, but we're going to continue. She's going to use her stamina point to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. At this point, that's her first stamina point. She's now going to use her second point to root the mind on one of our cave sickles. I think we're going to cast it on the purple one. And then we're going to use this probably with our magic staff, and hopefully we can take this whole guy out. We'll roll up our conviction die, or casting die, sorry. I got a 10. I will use my last stamina point to exhaust my magic staff to roll up our die to see how much extra damage we can potentially do to this cave sickle. I threw it right out of the thing. 5. So that's not going to be enough to kill. I need 6. That's going to be terrible. Now he does get to try to block this. His conviction die is a white and a white and a purple. So let's go ahead and roll these up and see how it goes. He got a 5. He did not succeed. He's going to take 5 damage, and he is also going to be paralyzed. So let's get our paralyzed token on him, and we'll also get our 5 points of damage. Now that's going to be our purple one again. I apparently like the paralyzed purple people. The flying purple people eater are going to get paralyzed here. There we go. That's the end of her turn. It's Zeke's turn. He's just going to stay right where he is, spend all 3 stamina points to shoot that animate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to lose, or he's going to gain +1 defense, but I'm also going to get +1 to my accuracy because I did not move, and the Bearer of Justice allows me to do that. If you haven't made a move action this turn, your attack gains +1 to the attack roll. If you gain the bonus, I cannot make a move action. Also, I think my True Flight arrows might kick in. Let's see what these do. When making an attack, gain +1 range. I can exhaust this before making an attack. Target can't die. Okay, that's not going to help me. But the Bearer of Justice does give me +1 to attack. He's going to gain +1 defense, so those are going to nullify each other. Let's shoot the animate. We got a lot of books, and we got an 11 and a shields, and I think this is going to be okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 4 shields, so 9, 10, 11, only done 2 damage. Because remember, I'm not going to do a lot of damage unless I can actually get more of these shields. So at this point, I am going to exhaust my quiver to be able to roll a die. I can reroll any single die except a black die. So we're going to do that. We're going to exhaust this to reroll the white die. We'll put these 2 over here because I don't want to bump them and see how this goes. Come on, I need some big number here, big number. Yes, that's exactly what I needed. 6. So now we have 13. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 4 over. And I get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shield. So I get 6. So that's 6 damage minus 3 is 3. I think we got him. But I got to do the math. We got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus 6 over 13 minus 3, so I've got 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. That's enough. We've done 20 damage. The animate is destroyed. Oofta! Took me a little while to get there, but I finally did. We'll remove the animate and we'll gain a combatant loot card. He gains 9 gold. We're getting a lot of gold doing this. Let's remove that animate. He's not allowed to move. He's not able to make a move action. If I had anything that could just randomly allow him to move 1 square or something, I could do those now, but I don't really have anything like that. We're going to move into Rook's turn. He's going to gain his 3 stamina points. He has a total of 4, which is pretty good. We're going to use our first one to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to move 1 more time. 1, 2 to right there, so I can maybe take a swing at one of these guys. Oh no, I'm going to cast that fever spell again. Let's do that. Now, before I move too far, I was right back over here. We are going to use our barrier again, and this time we're going to put our barrier. We're going to put our barrier on Nightingale. Nightingale is going to gain a barrier token because I'm right next to her, or kind of. I'm right here. I'm within sphere of influence. She's going to gain a barrier. There we go. We did our magic armor. Now I'm going to cast my fever spell. I get to roll my purple die and see how it goes here. I got a 6 plus 6 is 12. Their conviction is going to be a purple and a white die. We'll roll those up and see how it goes. Oh, a 13. Really? Well, he stopped that spell. Awesome. I'm kind of glad he stopped the spell because I forgot to say who I was targeting, which I should have done before I casted the spell. We'll take our cards. We're going to go into the next round, give him a good old truffle shuffle here, and see who's going to go next. We have Remy's first, followed by Nightingale, Zeke, the Cave Sickles, and then Rook. Oh, it's almost like the same order, except these two swap places a little bit. Remy's going to gain 3 stamina points. She's going to use her first stamina point to move just to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there, I think is going to be her plan. No, we're going to move, 5 to right there. Or should I move? Oh, I got a better plan. 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here. That's where she's going to go. That way she can attack this one with her card and potentially, hopefully, throw him into that pit. So we're going to use our chain of command on him, and I'm going to bring along my hammer helm because I get at least a +1 damage. I'm targeting the red cave sickle. Let's see how we do. We got a total of 8. That's not really do anything. I'm going to use this hammer helm to re-roll this die here and see how it goes. It's got a 5. That's way better. That's 10. So we did 2, plus we get another 3, 4. And I could go ahead and exhaust my War Axe for 5, 6, and I get 1 for my hammer helm, so that's 7. That's enough to kill our first cave sickle. The red cave sickle is off the board. We'll place everything back on Remy's card. I did have to exhaust this. The reason I was doing the extra damage with the books is because I get the +1 physical damage as long as I exhaust this to use the War Axe to get damage from it. The War Axe is pretty awesome. You get +1 damage from almost every symbol you get on those dice. We'll move into Nightingale's turn. She does get 3 stamina points. She's going to use 1 right away to go ahead and move. Let's see how that goes. We're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe, to right there. We'll use our gore shot now. If I can just hit this thing with the gore shot, it will be dead. There's not much more I'm going to be doing this turn, so I'm going to use 1 more stamina point to empower this spell. Let's see. Oh no, that's terrible. I should not have empowered the spell. So different from melee attacks is when you empower a spell and you fail, you get the skull symbol. Not only does the spell fail, but you take 3 irreducible damage. So that was absolutely the worst thing that could happen. I should not have empowered the spell. She'll be taking 3 damage, but that's okay. I do have that sentient bodysuit, if I remember to use it every turn, that will hopefully heal her back up. Nightingale does have 1 more stamina point left, but she's going to keep it. Zeke is going to be next. He's going to use 1 to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to right here. And he's going to take a shot with that bow. Hopefully he can do the 1 damage to take out this cave sickle. The good news is if he doesn't, the thing is paralyzed, so it won't actually be doing anything. Our bow gets a white and orange die. Let's see how... Wow, that was terrible. Now, is this the worst number on the die? No, a 2 is, and I know a 2 is on this one, too. That's sad. I missed it by 1. I can get to re-roll 1 die because of my quiver, so we're going to use the quiver to re-roll this die. It's a 7. That's still not enough to actually hit this guy. If I would have got at least an 8 or better, I could have at least done maybe 1 damage. A 9 would have been enough. If I rolled a 9, that would have been enough because he has 5 damage. It's going to be our Cave Sickle's turn. He's not going to be doing anything because of his paralyze. I'm going to just discard this token. He is now immune to paralyze, so I can't cast it again on him. We do have our yellow cave sickle. He is allowed to activate, and he is only going to be able to, can it move and attack an opponent within range 4? Yes. So move to be up to range 4 from the nearest opponent. So So it's going to go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not quite yet. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, not quite yet. 3, 4. It has to actually jump the pit in order to actually make the attack. So we're going to roll our die here and see if it falls in the pit. Come on, oh, I did not get the skull. That's sad. So it is going to make an attack targeting the person within range 4 and the person it's going to target. It doesn't have an actual person like for damage or lowest conviction or lowest armor or anything like that. So it's going to target the first person in the row. It's going to target Remy. Let's see if it's able to hit. It's going to roll. Oh, it gets its what do they call that? Oh, it's the hive mind. It gets the hive mind ability. Now, since there's nobody else attacking her this turn, I am going to use this to dodge. So we'll roll up our dodge die along with its 2 attack dice, which is going to be an white and a purple. Or sorry, white and an orange. She's going to roll white and orange. And I'm going to roll my dodge die. That's my dodge die. It got an 11. And I got 1 defense, so that's a 10. Now, I shouldn't have done it that way. That was wrong. The reason why that is wrong is because I have to roll this die first before I roll the attack dice, because I don't know what that number is. And this one might not have been what I thought would be enough to stop this attack. So we're going to re-roll this just to show you how you're supposed to do it, because that was totally wrong. You never do it that way. We'll roll this up first. Now I got 4 shields. That's absolutely awesome. And then this rolls up in a 12. So it missed. So both of those would have missed, but I wanted to show you that that's really the way you do it, because if you don't like what's on that die, I do have that BA leather jacket. I could have re-rolled that. And who knows, I might have rolled into a skull. Then that 11 would have hit because I only had a 10 defense. But instead, this case-sickle totally missed, and we're going to move on to Rook's turn. Rook's going to gain 3 stamina points, and he's going to try to hit this person again with that fever. He's going to roll that up. But first, before he does that, he's going to cast Barrier. And he's actually going to use 1 stamina point to cast Barrier on himself. According to our card here, Magic Armor does cost 1 stamina point. I've tried all I could to make that spell go off for him to get it for free, but it's not happening. So I am going to cast Barrier on myself, which is going to cost me 1 stamina point. Then I'm going to spend the other 2 stamina points on this spell right here. Let's see how it goes. We are going to target this cave sickle, the purple one. Just hopefully we can kill it. Wow, I got a 7. That's something else. Is there any way I can re-roll that without having to spend a one-time ability? No. Okay, that's fine. We're probably not going to be killing this cave sickle. Let's roll this up and see what its conviction is. Oh, it only got a 4. Talk about battle of the low numbers. So our 7 actually goes off. It's going to do 5 damage to this cave sickle. It'll kill the purple cave sickle. Then I get to heal myself equal to half that. So I'm going to heal myself 3. I could heal anybody in Sphere of Influence, but I'm going to choose him. He'll go back up to 1 damage, which is pretty good. That cave sickle is very dead. Now, I'm not getting any rewards yet for that because we still have the 1 left in the swarm. Nightingale's going to take her 1 stamina point there. We're going to give these a good old truffle shuffle because Rook was the last one in line there, and see who gets to go first. Hopefully our crew goes before the cave sickles. Nightingale gets to go first, followed by Zeke, then Remy, Rook. Oh, the poor cave sickles go last. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Cave Sickles. She's going to gain 3 more stamina points, bring her stamina points up to 4. I don't know if I'm not going to move first. I'm going to cast my Gore Shot and hopefully kill this thing. But before we do, our Sentient Bodysuit fires off. Nightingale unexhausts these cards, and her Sentient Bodysuit will heal her 1 damage. Our Gore Shot has a white die. I'm not going to empower the die. Let's just see how it goes. I got an 11. That's pretty good. He's going to use his Conviction, which is a purple and white die. Let's see how that goes. He got an 8. Sorry, that's not enough. So I'm going to do 2 damage. Then I'm going to take 1 damage, do 4 irreducible damage, meaning we did 6 damage and we were able to kill that cave sickle. So it says here on our card, you deal 2 magic damage. You may deal 2 irreducible damage to deal an additional magic damage equal to 2 times your highest courier level discipline. So I did the 2, then I've got 2, right, a level 2 one here. So that's 4, that's a total of 6. Our Gore Shot is exhausted. I'm going to take 2 damage to go down to 4, and we killed that cave sickle. That cave sickle gets removed from the board, and I get a combatant loot card. We got a ton of cards over there, and we keep getting gold. That's totally fine. I don't mind gold at all. She still has her 4 stamina points because Gore Shot doesn't cost any stamina points. She's going to use 1 to move. 1, 2, 3. I think she's going to go down here to try to get this treasure, which means we are now next to this token right here, this totem, this red one. Let's go ahead and see what happens. The red totem states, as you approach the corner of the wall, you hear more cave sickles. But when you turn the corner, you find yourself staring up at an earth loa. A moment of confusion washes over you as you swear that there are still more cave sickles somewhere on the platform. Perhaps they'll show themselves later. Spawn an Earth Loa on the space this totem occupied. We'll take our red Earth Loa here and place it down right on the red totem. And I'll tell you right now, that's a terrible spot for it to be. If I want to move past this in any way at all or get away from him, I'm going to be taking a break attack from this guy. It's terrible. Oh man, what do I do? Do I keep moving? I've got some more speed still. Oh, this is a tough call. Or do I, if I stop and do something, that means my movement is over. I think I am. I'm going to continue moving. I went 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move to here. The reason I'm going to do that is I need to get some other people down here. She cannot take this thing on by herself, though she's probably one of the best ones to do it because he's got a lot of armor, but not a lot of defense against magic. Since I moved away from him, or I moved anywhere adjacent to him, I'm going to have to take a break attack. So he's going to get a free attack on me. Earth Loas are bad news. I'm not a fan of these guys, especially when I'm adjacent to him. I'm going to use this defensive core to dodge. Let's see how we do. Oh, we got 4. That's going to be so good. I'm going to now attempt to see if he hits. He gets 2 of these teal dice. Let's see how this goes. He got an 11. That's not going to be enough. I have a total of 10 plus my 4 right here is 14 defense. He did not hit me with the break attack. At this point, I still have, was it 3 stamina points left? I'm going to use one of my stamina points to cast Root the Mind. We're going to exhaust that to Root the Mind. I'm going to empower that spell. I think we want this spell to stick. It's going to be bad news city if it doesn't stick. We got 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 3 books, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's awesome. I'm going to use my last stamina point now to activate that staff. I'm going to exhaust the magic staff to get a white die worth of damage onto him. Let's see how this goes. I got 6. That's going to be fantastic. So we're going to have 6 damage coming in. Now he does a conviction of, he has 2 conviction dice of white dice. So let's see here. I've got a 6 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 6, 15. I've got a 15 with 6 damage coming in. He did not beat it. I'm going to do my 5, or was it 6 damage? 6 damage coming in. It's magic damage, so it ignores armor, which is going to be key to taking this guy down. We'll put that up here. He's got 6 damage. And on top of that, he is now paralyzed, which is perfect because he's going to be going next. So I'm going to discard this, and he's no longer allowed to be paralyzed, but he's not going to be taking a turn this time. When the Earth Loa is placed on the board, I should have placed his card in our initiative track. Our cave sickles are all dead, so I'm going to remove that one. Our Earth Loa, like I said, would go next, but he is paralyzed, so he's not going to do anything. We are going to give our 3 stamina points now to Zeke. Now, Zeke sadly can't get there and attack with an empowered attack, which is really about the only way he's going to do damage to this animate. Shooting with the bow without being able to get those 5 shields is going to be a little rough. He's not going to be able to do too much, I don't think. I wonder if I should just start him, prep him for the next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to right there. He can move 7 spaces. He has this occult t-shirt that gives him +1 movement, which is pretty good. That's what we're going to do with him. And I think we're going to also prep Remy as well. Remy is going to grab 3 stamina points, and she also is probably just going to move, mainly because I can't really get by this guy without causing break attacks, and they're bad news city. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, she's going to move right here to 6, and she is going to attack. She's going to use these 2 to attack, and she is going to use her chain of command. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll give it a shot. And like I did last time, I'm actually going to save my 2 stamina points and use my fight drive instead. So we're going to save those 2 stamina points, use this once per battle ability to just make an attack, and use that to activate our chains of command. And I'm going to bring my Hammer Helm card because it gives me +1 damage, and I might be able to reroll my dice. We're going to grab our War Axe and hit this Earth Loa with everything we got. Come on, big no. Oh my gosh, those are terrible. I'm going to exhaust my Hammer Helm, and I'm allowed to use it for both of my dice. It says you may reroll any dice in your combat dice pool. Thank goodness. We're going to roll them both. Hopefully get better than that. I got the same roll. Okay, well, I guess her turn's over. Well, not exactly. I do have 2 more stamina points. I could swing this. I don't have any way to re-roll any of these dice. Well, I do, but I think I'm trying to save some of the other re-rolls I have for another time in case I need them. I think I'm going to save the last 2. I might need to use them to potentially dodge if this thing decides to attack me. Let's take a look at his card here just to see what he potentially could do. Is there another ally within Sphere of Influence without barrier? Another ally within Sphere of Influence gain barrier. That's not going to happen. But is there more than one opponent adjacent? all adjacent opponents are dealt 2 magic damage and pushed force 3. Push 3, force 11, continue down. Can make an attack against an opponent with reach 2. To be within reach 2, move to be within reach 2 of the nearest opponent. Then make a melee attack with reach 2, follow up push 2, and inflict paralyzed force 11. Okay, that's going to be awesome. It could potentially attack Remy because it didn't say anything about having to take damage or anything like that, and she is the closest one adjacent to him. So I'm actually going to save my 2 stamina points to potentially maybe dodge that if I have to. Well, that fight drive was pretty bad. We're going to go to Rook's turn. Rook is going to grab 3 stamina points and use 1 to move. He's going to keep 2 on his card. I'm going to try to do that tricksy move again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right here. And when I move, this guy is going to make a break attack. If he doesn't actually do any damage to me, I might actually deal to counter him. I don't have any way to dodge this attack, so we're just going to go ahead and see how he does. He got an 8, 9, 10, 11 against me. I only have a 9, so that's 2 over. So he's done 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage. He's a total of 5 damage, and guess how much defense I have? Or, sorry, armor. I have 5. He did no damage to me. Oh, that's perfect. We're going to use our ability core to counterattack him. And we're going to counterattack him with our shield and our Morning Star and see how this goes. Come on, let's take him out here. We need to get a bit... That's not going to do any damage to him. He's got an 8 defense, and he's got 5 armor. We're going to exhaust this during our counterattack to reroll anything in our dice pool. I believe it's anything. Just want to make sure it is. When you countering, you may reroll any of your dice. Any of my dice, I'm going to roll both of them because they're both were terrible. Let's roll these up. Well, the 6 was better, but that 3 is still not enough. That's a total of 9, so that's only 1 over. 1, 2, 3 did 3 damage. He's got 5 armor. Didn't do anything. But I'm going to now spend my 2 stamina points I have to, well, hit him. Maybe I can actually do some damage to him. Let's see how this goes. Come on. Oh, no, I'm going to cast my Fever Spell because magic is actually better against him. I'm going to cast my Fever Spell. I'm going to roll my magic die here. See how this goes. I got a 7. That's awesome. Now, I've done 6 to him so far. Let's see if we can keep this going. I'm going to roll these up, see how this goes. Oh, he got an 11. Oh, that's still not enough. I got a 13 and he got 11. So he's going to take 5 damage because I've got 5 armor. That's awesome. So we're up to 10, 11 damage on this Earth Loa. And now I get to heal somebody within Sphere of Influence 3 damage, which is going to be great. And of course, if that person hasn't taken damage yet, they're going to gain barrier. I know Nightingale has that great sentient bodysuit, but Remy and Rook only each have taken 1 damage, so I'm going to heal her. So Nightingale will heal 1, 2, 3, back up to 1. I may have said Remy and Nightingale. I sadly get them sometimes confused, but I think I said it right. That comes to the end of the round. We're going to put Remy's next to her, Zeke's next to him. Take our cards, shuffle them up, give them a good old truffle shuffle here, and hopefully we get to go before that Earth Loa, or again, things are going to turn out pretty badly for our team because we're going to take magic damage and get pushed all over the place, and it's just going to be a bad news everything. So Nightingale goes first, Remy, which I dropped on the ground, goes second, then Zeke, then we've got the Earth Loa is going to go third, and Rook is going to go fourth. I think this might be good. We'll see how it goes. We're going to start with Nightingale. Nightingale will unexhaust all of her stuff here, and she's going to gain the 1 health back from her sentient bodysuit. She's then going to get 3 stamina points, and she's just going to start casting spells at this guy, just blasting him left and right. We'll start with Gore Shot. Gore Shot is going to be exhausted. I'm going to use my white die to see how this goes. I could empower this spell. I think we're going to. I've got 3 stamina points. I'm going to empower it with 1 of my stamina points, and let's see if this helps at all. Oh, it does. I got 2, and I love that 7. I think she rolled that like almost every time I've rolled a spell. That's awesome. So she has 13, 14, 15. I'm going to use my other stamina point now to activate that magic staff. This staff is super bonkers. We're going to roll this die up, see how much damage. We only did 3. That's too bad. I don't like that 3. We're going to use our Enchanted Piercings one-time ability here that does state, after making a roll, re-roll any of your dice. I'm going to re-roll this die. Let's see how this goes. Maybe it's better. Oh, that 7 is so much better. Whew, that was what you call a clutch use of the Enchanted Piercings. We're going to then roll his Conviction dice, and he only gets 2 white. So right now I'm doing 7 damage. I'm going to place that up on top because otherwise I know I'm going to forget how much damage I'm doing because that's just how I am. We're going to put a 5 and 2 1s right here. Now let's roll this 2 dice to see how he does. And I've got right now a 13, 14, 15. Let's see how he gets. He gets a 6. Sorry, that's not enough. Boom! You get hit for 7 damage. and you get hit for more with the gore shot. So let's see how much we need to do. He has 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, I don't have to do anything. The 7 killed him. Woohoo! Go math. Our Earthlow is dead. I had to do 20 damage. That Earthlow went down. Oh, that was perfect. That Earthlow going down was fantastic. I also have to give Remy and Zeke both of their stamina points here. They're going to get a ton of stamina moving into the next area. Now, sadly, I'm going to remove the Earthlow. That's not sad at all. I get a combatant loot card. The sad thing is Rook's last, and I got to have him drop a pit. We've got 4 more gold for Nightingale. She's got tons of gold up there. She's got 1 more stamina point. She's going to use the stamina point to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, she can't even pick it up if she uses it. She's going to start running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right there. That's what she's going to use her movement point for. You can always move through your allies, but it costs 2 points to move off of them, and you can never end your turn on them. Remy is next. Remy's going to grab 3 stamina points. She's going to move to set herself up to help Rook across that pit like she did last time. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right there. I think that's going to be her movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think you can get across. Okay. I think we're okay. I need to try to get... I think I'm going to use 1 more of my stamina. I've got a ton of these stamina points. I might as well use them. I might as well fly. I'm just going to fly over there. So I don't have to worry about any of this. She's going to fly to right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. She can get over there. No big deal. She's going to fly to right there. We're going to move into Zeke's turn. Zeke is going to grab 3 stamina points. He's going to start moving, but he's going to move and get that treasure. Because I like treasure. Treasure, treasure, treasure. I like treasure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. He's going to use another stamina point to grab the treasure. And we're going to see what color our treasure token is. We got the yellow one. Let's check it out. The yellow loot token states, you find a pile of treasure. Gain 10 gold and 1 random consumable. I wrote our 10 gold down on our character sheet, or our party sheet. We're going to mix these up a little bit, give them a good old truffle shuffle, and we're going to draw from the bottom and see what we get. We have gotten this. What is this? Mundane consumable. It is a smoke bomb. Discard. You do not provoke break attacks until the end of your turn. Way more smoke than you need. Awesome. We'll put this with Zeke because Zeke is the one that picked up the treasure token. And that's going to be the end of his turn. We'll move to Rook's turn now, who's going to gain 3 stamina points. We're going to use 1 to move. And we'll put the other 2 on his card, though I think we're going to be using those as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to use another 2 to jump this pit. 1, 2 to right here. Okay, here we go. Rook has only a 1 agility. And Nightingale has a 4 strength. So we have a +5 to this roll. We're going to take a skill check using 2 of these. We need to get a 10 or higher. And we got way more than enough we needed. We got 8 + 5 is plenty. He has 2 more movement left. He's going to use the last 2 to move 1, 2 to right there. Rook has made it across the pit. We'll give these people back their stamina points to go into the next round. Remy gains 2. Nightingale gains nothing. We're going to mix these up. Now, I do not gain an urgency token from how I understand it's played because we still had the Earthlow card out at the beginning of that round. So we'll mix these all up. Now, I do have to either get to that exit before we run out of time here. That's going to be our plan. Let's flip these over. We got Zeke, Rook, Nightingale, and Remy. That is perfect because Remy can help every single person across the pit and then herself can fly. That'll be perfect. Zeke's going to gain his stamina point back. We're going to give Remy her stamina points and we're going to start with Zeke. Zeke's going to only gain 2 because he has 3 already. So he's got a total of 5 stamina points. He's going to start moving. 1 to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to right there. Then he's going to jump the pit. 1, 2 using 1 of these. Then he's going, and we're going to see how that goes. I believe he doesn't even have to roll dice because I think we have enough to do this. Zeke has 4 agility, and Remy has 4 strength. That's 8. If I roll 2 dice, the worst I can get is 2, and it takes 10 to jump this pit, so we're totally fine. Now I'm going to roll the dice. I've got 3 more stamina points left. I think we're going to keep on moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, do I really want to do that? I can add, then I'd activate this token right here. If I go right there, I'm activating it. Well, let's do it. Let's see it. We got to get going. So let's see what this green one is. Through the white pillars, you catch fleeting glimpses of water forms. Spawn 2 water loas on any water train space adjacent to this totem. Oh, terrible. Water loas. We will spawn them right here and right here. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it doesn't do bad things for me. And that's going to be, I think he has 2 more. I think he's going to back up 1, 2. He's going to move 2 back because I don't want to be anywhere near these water loas. So he has no more stamina points. Totally fine. Our water loas are going to be placed in the track and it's going to be their turn. It's been a while since we've seen a water Loa. They have changed a little bit from the 1.0 version. They've gained just some tags as opposed to some of the wording on their card. First, they have H2O. The water Loa gains Arcane and Elusive. Arcane is a new tag that states when making an attack against a figure with Arcane, the shields, the books, and the stars rolled during the attack roll are considered non-existent. That's absolutely, it had a similar power to that in 1.0, but they just made it a tag now. Also, we have Elusive. When making voluntary movement, a figure with Elusive will never provoke break attacks from an opponent who are adjacent to them at the start of the turn. Now, if the figure with Elusive is pushed or pulled or otherwise moved by an adjacent opponent, an opponent ability, they will still provoke those break attacks from the adjacent figure. Also, we have when the water Loa affects an opponent with a spell or hits an opponent with an attack, place a water token on the space the target occupies. It has a lot of conditions here. The first one is terrible. Is there a figure within Sphere of Influence with an effect? Remove a negative effect from an ally within Sphere of Influence. Otherwise, remove a positive effect from an opponent's Sphere of Influence. So my barriers are going to start disappearing. Then we're going to continue down. Is there an opponent is it adjacent to more than one opponent? If so, she's going to make some attacks and move around. Is there an opponent in Sphere of Influence? It's going to cast a magic spell. Can it move and attack an opponent in range 6? Then it'll move to be up to range 6 and make that attack. Now, of course, I do get a chance to look at this card and decide where I want to place them before they do that. And this is a bad place. It's going to back up. Otherwise, I'm going to get absolutely rocked right there, and I don't want to do that. So this is where our water Loas get placed adjacent to this. Now, they can't be placed off water terrain. That's another thing, is they always want to be on water terrain. We're going to move into the water Loa's turn now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now Rook is not in Sphere of Influence, which he used to be. They are only going to be able, can it move and attack an opponent within range 6? Yes, it can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rook is within range 6, so both of these can attack it within range 6. And this figure is not in Sphere of Influence, so it gets to keep its barrier. Both of them are going to be rolling purple dice here. The first one's going to make an attack, and it did this. It got an 8. That's not enough to hit him. The second one is going to do a 9, which is enough to hit. And let's see how much we do here. These are going to add to the attack roll, so 9, 10, 11, 12. So it got a total of 12. I only have a 9, so I'm going to take 3 damage, but I'm able to soak all that up with my 5 armor. So the water Loa is done. That's it. Nightingale will go next. She will grab her 3 stamina points. She's going to use one of her stamina points. This is going to be pretty tricky. She's going to use a re-equip action. We haven't used this before. It states right here, equip or unequip an item in your pack or on your adventurer's items in your pack may stay flipped or exhausted until they would normally be unexhausted or unflipped. You may also take items and companions from an adjacent adventure, but you may never give items or companions to another adventure. Any amount of equipping or unequipping taking is allowed for 1 stamina point. So I'm going to use that to gain. I'm going to take this from Remy. That's what I'm going to do with my 1 stamina point. I now still have 2 stamina points. I'm going to use one of them to move. I'm going to jump this pit 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there, because I can't go 5, 6, 7. I don't have 7 speed, otherwise I'd go to here. Instead, we're going to stop right there. I'm going to jump the pit. Nightingale actually has 5 agility, and of course I've got the 4 strength. I'm being helped by Remy, so that's way more than enough to get across this pit. At this point, I still have 1 stamina point, and now that I have this wand, I can use this ability once per encounter when choosing a targets of a spell. Increase the sphere of influence by 2. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to increase my sphere of influence by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can now target these water Loas. I think I'm going to target we'll go for this purple one right here. We'll see if we can do that. I'm also going to remove this. I don't think I need that down on the board anymore because we've already triggered it. So we've used, well, these stamina points are old. But we now have 1 left for Nightingale, actually. That's what we're going to use. She has 1 left. She's not going to empower. I might save that for the magic staff. Ooh, tricky. We get our 1 white casting die. Oh, we only got a 3, so we got a 9. I wonder if there's a way to re-roll that. I don't think there is anymore. I've used almost everything I could to re-roll dice and do fun things in this battle, which is pretty good. That means I'm doing the best I can. We're going to roll their conviction dice up, which is a white and a teal. Let's see how they did. They got a 9, which is just enough. I have a 9 over here. And good thing I did that because I totally forgot to use my stamina point to use my staff. So we're going to save the stamina point because I don't have any use for it anymore because I can't actually do anything about it. The water Loa resisted my spell. Remy's the last one to go. She has 3 stamina points plus the 2 she has a total of 5. She can move pretty much anywhere on the board and make an attack, which is probably what's about to happen. She's going to use 2 of them, I lied. She's going to use 2 to fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right there. Then she can use another one to move 2 more spaces. 1, 2, and another one to move 1 more. Oh no, she's not going to get there. And she can move to right here, I guess, is where I think I'm going to place her. That way she can hopefully get both of these to try to go after her a little bit. I could almost fly to this exit next turn that's right over here, and we can end this scenario, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea because I don't know if I can take on 2 water loas. We've used a lot of our resources already. That's the end of our turn. Nightingale's going to gain her stamina point back, and I am going to give our good old cards here a truffle shuffle and see how it goes. Let's mix them all up, and the last thing I need is those water loas going first. Remy's going to go first, followed by Nightingale, then Rook, then Zeke. Oh my gosh, I've gotten so lucky on these flips. It's absolutely out of control. The water loas are going to go last. Let's start with Remy. Super pumped. She's right where she wants to be, and she just wants to flatten one of these creatures. She is going to use 2 of her stamina points to attack. I think we're going to go after the red one. She's going to use her chain of commands and hopefully attempt to command this thing to fall into the pit. That'll be what I'm trying to do. I'm going to attack him. This chain of commands that I am going to use is actually pretty worthless. I'll tell you why. I can't use the star off that ability because this is going to remove all those things from that die, which is fantastic. So we're just going to roll our 2 white dice from our axe. I'm not going to bring it out here because technically I just need to hit with these. I'm going to re-roll with Hammer Helm. I'm going to re-roll this 3, hopefully get something higher. Come on, 2 is not higher. That's 7. That's not enough to hit her. I've got 1 stamina point left. I'm going to save that. I really don't know why I'm going to save it, but I am. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to use these throwing knives. These throwing knives are really good against these guys. I'm going to attempt to hit that red one with this throwing knife. It doesn't have any armor, and it's just going to take damage. It took 6 damage. That's great. So it's half dead. These throwing knives are pretty much the way to go when it comes to taking care of these things. So that's the end of Remy's turn. I am going to discard this card. We don't get to keep that. It's a one-time consumable. We'll move into Nightingale's turn. Nightingale, she gets 3 stamina points, and she's got to get up there a little bit. So she's going to use 1 of her stamina points to move, and she's going to keep the other 2 for her spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right here. 1, 2, 3. Everything is within sphere of influence, so I think we're going to start with Gore Shot and see what we can do with that spell first. Let's check it out. One thing I failed to do last turn is I could have done this. When you fail to affect a target with a spell, add 1 energy token to this card, limit of 2. And then when I make an attack, you can determine the force of your spell. You may discard any amount of energy tokens from this card to add +1 to your roll. So I forgot to do that last turn, but hopefully we don't ever have to worry about that. I hope I hit with every spell from now on. I'm going to roll my casting die. I'm debating if I'm going to empower the spell. It's so hard to choose. I don't think I am. I've got a plan. I should have empowered the spell. Well, maybe I'll get an energy token because I don't think this is going to affect this guy. The Waterloo is going to go ahead. It only got a 6. That's not enough. The conviction failed. Sadly, I didn't use the staff. I should have, but I didn't. Oh, that's too bad. Well, that's okay. Our Gore Shot, I think, is still going to kill it. We got a total of 8. They got 6, so they failed. So he's going to take 2 irreducible damage. I'm going to do 4 more, so we do a total of 6. It's already got, well, it's got 11, but it doesn't actually have 6 on it. 6 plus 6 is 12. We were able to take out the red Waterloa. That's fantastic. That red Waterloa is off the board. I'm never going to doubt her again. We get a combat and loot card because this is not a swarm enemy. We got 7 gold. She's actually raking in the money now. It was originally Rook. Now it's her. She's got all this money. She has some more stamina. She has 2 more stamina points. I think we're going to try to cast Paralyze on that one. Nightingale has 1 more stamina point, but we're going to use Root the Mind here. I'm not going to empower this spell. Let's see how it goes. Oh, we got a 7. That's a 13. I'm totally going to use that stamina point to use our magic staff. I'm going to roll our die to exhaust this and do damage. Let's see how much magic damage we do. Oh, 2. Bleh, and that's no good. Well, it's better than nothing. We're going to roll up their conviction roll. She got a 7. Yeah, sorry, that's not going to help you. 2 damage is better than nothing. I would have liked a lot more than that. But we'll take 2. 2 damage on that. And, of course, we paralyze this person. So she's not going to be even going this turn, which is going to be amazing. That's the end of Nightingale's turn. We'll move into Rook. Rook is going to unexhaust all his cards, and he is going to gain 3 stamina points. He's going to use 1 of his stamina points to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to use another one to keep on moving. 6, 7, and I'm going to move again 8. Now, I am on water terrain here, and I haven't been moving anybody on this water terrain because it didn't tell me anything about having a current on this board. So that's why you haven't seen me moving these based on any type of current, because there isn't one. It's just, this is just water in a cavern, I guess. We're going to move past this creature. She's going to be able to make a break attack against me. Now, she is paralyzed, but from what I understand, these break attacks are not necessarily part of these abilities or anything. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments below, but I believe I still get to have this break attack happen against me because I'm moving adjacent to her. Or I should say, I'm moving while adjacent to her. She rolls 2 purple dice. Let's see how this goes. The 3, fail. Mass fail. That's awesome. Time for counter time. It's counter time, baby. We're going to use our big old thing here, and we're going to use our Morning Star. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to counterattack this person. Let's see how this goes. It went terrible. Well, I'm going to exhaust the Morning Star. Wow, I can't believe how bad he does with these rolls. Come on, something good. Oh, he got a 5. Oh, Rook, you cracked me up, man. All right, so Rook totally failed. I guess he's more worried about watering his boots than he is hitting the water, Loa. So his counterattack failed. He still has 1 more speed, but I stopped moving when I make my counterattack because the action I'm doing does come to an end when I start a new action. Zeke is last to activate, and he doesn't have line of sight to that water Loa. He's going to use one of his 3 stamina points to move. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right there. Then he'll use his last 2 stamina points to attack that water Loa. The Bear of Justice comes in with an orange and white die, and it got an 11. So that's going to be 9, 10, 11. We did 2 over. No armor. That's 4 damage. I'm going to flip one of these 1s, which are actually all 3s right now. It should only be 2 1s. So we have 4 damage against our water Loa. At this point, I am going to exhaust his fight drive. We're going to use his once per encounter ability on his fight drive. It's the same as what Remy has. He's going to be able to make a ranged or melee attack. We're going to go ahead and roll these up with our Bear of Justice here. We did a 5 and a 3. At this point, I am going to use my quiver to reroll 1 die. I'm going to reroll this one to a 4. Seriously? 4? All right, well, that's the end of that. I don't think there's anything else I can do because none of those are actually the lowest numbers on the dice. 9 is not enough to do any damage to this. That's the end of Zeke's turn. Zeke, we did a total of 4 damage to that water Loa the entire round. I guess I can't complain too much because we did take out 1 water Loa already. We're going to give back our stamina points to 2 of our people here, Remy and Rook. Then we're going to shuffle up our initiative cards here and see what happens. We're going to give them a good old truffle shuffle, and hopefully that water Loa goes last like it did last time. Oh, and by the way, the water Loa would have activated, but it is paralyzed, so I'm just going to discard the token. I hope I'm playing paralyzed right. From what I understand, that's what it's going to do. It doesn't actually activate. Zeke's going to go first, followed by the water Loa. Then Remy, Nightingale, and Rook. So this water Loa is going to go after Zeke. So hopefully Zeke can get a good big attack in on it. Well, sadly, that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to give Remy and Rook their stamina points back. Zeke is going to get 3, so he'll use 2 to attack. There's no reason to empower this attack because I can't get any of the symbols. One good thing I have going for me is I do get +1 to my attack roll because I am not going to be moving with him this turn. Let's roll these up and see how I do. Oh, a 2 and a 7. That's perfect. Oh, I think we did it because I have Kill the Messenger. I love this card. This card is so good. I get to change one of the lowest dice to one of the high, or any of my dice that rolled the lowest. I could turn a die to its highest value. I'm going to turn it to 8. That's a 15. Look at that, 15. But it's a 16. 9 minus, let's see here, wow, 16, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I did 7 damage, and it's already got 6, so that's 13. We were able to take out that water Loa. I think it was 6. Might have been 4, now that I think about it. I think it was 4, so I don't think we actually did kill it yet. If I'm wrong about that, then I'll make sure to talk about it in just a second, but I think it's still alive, sadly. But if not, it's going to be dead. But if it's not, if it did actually take, what's this, 15 minus 9 means I was able to do 6, 7 damage to it. It's at 10, meaning it only has 2 health left. Let's go ahead and move into their turn now. Looking back, it did bounce around a little bit. I think it made me have to stop using those inside the dice tray. The water Loa has 10 damage on it. It's going to be moving next. So we'll start at the very top. Is there a figure within Sphere of Influence with an effect? Remove a positive effect from opponent within Sphere of Influence. Of course, you have to remove negative effects, but I don't have any of those on anybody. And it doesn't target a single person, a person in sphere of influence, like with the most tokens or anything like that. So I believe it would start again from the person at the top of the track. That's Zeke. Zeke doesn't have any. Next would be Remy. So Remy is going to lose her barrier token. That's okay. We're then going to move to the next step. Is there an opponent adjacent? There is one opponent. Is there, a figure within, is there more than one opponent adjacent? Yes. Make an attack against the opponent with the most damage. Then place water tokens on all adjacent spaces to the water Loa. Then move to the farthest space possible from any opponent. Oh, are you kidding me? All right. Well, at least it doesn't have very far to move in here. That's just fine. So we'll start with the attack against the opponent with the most damage. They both have one. Remy's at the front of the track. She's going to be the one that's attacked. Then place a water token on the ally. It's not really going to matter because I'm on water. Then it's going to move to the farthest space possible from any opponent. So that would be here, would be where it's going to move. Let's start with the attack. I'm going to use my defensive core to dodge. We'll roll our dodge die up and see how it goes. I got one more defense. We'll roll this up. It got an 8. It totally missed Remy. Remy still has 1 stamina point left. If we look at our standard actions, to counter, it takes 2. Unless, when an attack deals no final damage, counter the attack. If the attack was successfully dodged, reduce the cost of the counter by 1 stamina point. So it doesn't cost 2, it costs 1 because I did successfully dodge. This character did not hit me. So I am going to counterattack with my one-shot War Axe. This is going to be awesome. Let's hopefully see this happen. We're going to roll our 2 white dice and maybe kill her. We got an 11. We did. We totally killed her before she was able to escape from us. 9, 10, 11. That's 2 over her defense. She is dead. She only has 10, 12 health. Oh, that counter was awesome. Not to mention I would have gotten 1 more for my hammer helm because I am making an attack with a 2-handed weapon. Our Waterloo is off the board. We're going to gain a combatant loot card for that. We got 6 gold. Remy's going to take hold of that. I'm going to gain 3 stamina points for Remy because it is now her turn. She's going to use 1. Oh no, there's something I forgot to do. Rook stepped adjacent to this. And I think this says it triggers when you move next to it. Oh no, that's totally my fault. Hopefully this doesn't screw the whole thing up. I think we'll be okay. Let's check out what this says. It does say when an adventurer enters a space adjacent to the token, read the following hidden text. So this could make a little bit of a change here. It says, Suri stops abruptly and shoves you back with a gust of magical energy as a large chunk of the ceiling falls into the canal, sending water and rubble all around. You spit out a mouthful of the stale water and find Suri floating nearby. She shakes her head and tells you that it looks like you have to go the long way back. Behind you, a wall was knocked free and sent flying into the abyss. Suri points and nods, confirming the new path is the one to take. You peer across a chasm and see cave sickles on the neighboring platform. Place and remove tiles, tokens, and figures according to diagram 6. The water on the placed tile has a current. These currents move figures tokens 1 space. See rulebook page 22. Then discard the blue objective token and replace the win condition of the encounter to an adventure ends next to the red exit. So this is going to change things up a little bit. I didn't realize this was going to happen. I apologize. We're going to have to put some of this out on the board. So we're going to be placing some cave sickles here, and then we're going to be putting some new things here, and that red exit is down here now. Instead, I'm going to have to block this off. This is where the collapsed. We already saw this one. So it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to place these figures to go after I get done with whoever's turn is right now. That's when these are going to activate because they should have actually been on the board already. My fault, but that's okay. They'll activate right after this last person. So here's our new board. I kind of removed some of the stuff that was kind of up here and over here. I don't think we're going back in that direction. If we do, I will replace it out there. Nothing has really changed as to the setup of how those boards are laid out. This Waterloo is defeated, and instead of Remy going, I'm going to activate these cave sickles. That's, I think, the fairest thing I can possibly do because I totally missed this objective token over here. I'm going to remove this. It wasn't in the pictures as being part of the stuff that remains there. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to, but we're going to remove it because it's not in the picture. The rest of the stuff is in the picture. We have 2 loot tokens. Now, these are going to be floating down the river. If I don't get to them, they're going to disappear. That's too bad for me. We're going to activate our cave sickles. Now, I did remove this one, so the only way into here is either to... Remy could fly straight to this exit. That might be what we do, because I'm running out of resources here. I've used all my 1s per combat abilities, most of them at least, and I've got to try to jump another big pit with Rook, and he's terrible at jumping pits. So when it comes to Remy's turn, she might just fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She's almost there. 11, 12, 13, 14. If I wait her 1 turn, like right here, I could fly her all the way to here, and that might be what we're going to do just to get through this. Though it means I'm not going to be getting the treasure, which is okay. We've got a lot of treasure so far, and if we can get out of here with taking as little damage as possible, I think that's our best plan. Like I said, the cave sickles are now going to activate. Let's go ahead and see what they're going to do. Our cave sickles are going to look here. Is there an opponent adjacent? No. Is there an opponent within range 4? No. Can it move and attack an opponent within range 4? Move to be up to range 4 from the nearest opponent, then make a range 4 attack. Let's take a look at that. We have this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can move there and then attack. It can attack 1, 2, 3, 4. It could go after Rook. Or it could go, can it go after Remy? I don't think it can, because it's going to go through this red square here. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and attack Rook. Now see all these green squares and these other cave sickles? It will ignore those because it has that sickle anatomy that states it is immune to poison, and movement point costs do not increase by terrain or allies. So he's going to make an attack at Rook. There's 1 cave sickle in its hive mind, so it's going to gain a orange die. Rook does have 1 more stamina point, but he's not going to use it to dodge. Oh, maybe he should have. He got a 14, 8 above. So he gets 6 above, or sorry, 5 above what he normally has. And so 5 damage on top of where he is right now. And on top of that, he's going to do all this damage. So he did 5. So I'm going to block 5. I'm going to take 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 damage from the cave sickle. That's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. So we'll move this down. 1, 2, 3. The next cave sickle is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It cannot actually attack. That's too bad. We do have the pink one next. So actually, it looks like I moved them in the wrong order. This one should actually stay up here. It should have been this one that moved first, the blue one. Then the green one, which can't actually do anything. Now the pink one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can do something. You can jump the pit and get over here. Let's see if it's able to make it the jump against the pit. Now in the original rules, the original way this was written, you'd roll for each one of these. But in any past the original rules, that is just a one-time roll to see if they make the jump. Let's see what he did. Oh, totally made the jump. So he's going to shoot at the person up to the nearest opponent, then make a range 4 attack. So he's moved the best he can. Now you make a range 4 attack. I think it's still going to target Rook. Even though Zeke is front in line, that would have been, I think, his target as he was jumping over this pit. Again, could be wrong about that, but we're just going to go with it. We're having fun. Rook is going to go ahead and save that stamina point again. See how this goes. Oh, that was a good choice this time. He took absolutely no damage. Remy's next. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here. And actually, she's going to move to right here and just hang out. Make sure I got this counted right. I believe I probably will be able to get out of there hopefully next turn. I'm going to save my other 2 stamina points. That way I can use them to fly all the way across this board. We'll move into Nightingale's turn next. She's going to try to lessen the amount of blows that might come at us. 1, 2, 3, 4 is not in sphere of influence. She'll move 1 to right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And she will gain her 3 stamina points, and she's going to use them to try to take out this cave sickle. So she's got 2 left after the move. She's going to start by casting Gore Shot. She'll use one of her remaining stamina points to empower this, meaning she has 1 stamina point left. Let's see how that goes. She got a 4, 5, 6, plus 6 is 12. Our cave sickle is going to roll its dice. Let's see how it does. It got a 10. Sorry, that's not enough. It's going to take 2 damage. I'm going to choose not to take the irreducible damage to kill this thing off. I have a reason. It's not a very good reason, but I have a reason that I'm not going to do it. So it's taken 2 damage. Nightingale's done. It is now Rook's turn. Rook is going to gain 3 stamina points. He has a total of 4. He's going to cast that fever spell a couple times. He's going to cast it once with the 2 he has, and then he's going to use it the second time. There's no exhaust on this, so I could actually cast this multiple times. I'm not going to empower the spell. I'm going to save my last my 2 points. I got an 8. That's terrible. But let's see what their conviction is. Their conviction is a white and die. It's got a 6. That's perfect. It did. I do 5 damage to this pink one. Pink one's dead. I'm going to kill the pink one, but more importantly, I get to heal somebody 3 damage. I'm going to choose him. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, back to only having 1 damage. We're going to use our final 2 stamina points to cast this on the blue one as well. Another 8. Let's see how he does. He got a 10, so he was able to stop that spell. Our pink cave sickle's off the board. I'm going to pass these stamina points off to our friends. Rook should have no stamina points. Nightingale, Remy has 2, and Zeke has 1. We're going to shuffle these up. Hopefully Remy goes before any of these cave sickles and we can just get out of here. That's going to be our plan. Hopefully it works out. We'll see how it goes. First off, I should probably count this before I even try. We've got Remy's first. Yes. Oh my gosh. Hopefully this works out. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we'll be able to get to that. But of course, there is one more token here. I don't even know what that is. Hopefully it doesn't do too bad things. But I'm going to gain 3 stamina points for Remy. Remy is going to use 2 of them and she's going to fly. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, and that is going to trigger that token right here. Let's see what that totem does. Our yellow totem states 2 more animates block your path. Spawn 1 animate on the space this totem occupied. Then spawn 1 animate on any unoccupied normal terrain space on the east side of tile UM72. So we'll spawn 1 animate right here on top of this and the other one on the east side over here. The other thing I forgot to do is these loot tokens should have moved at the end of the round. Since they don't aren't actually on the track, they just move 1 space towards the current at the end of each round. Remy's still moving. She's got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's then going to have her other 3 stamina points. She's going to spend 2 more to move 1, 2, and 1, 2. We have made it to the red exit. All you have to do is get 1 person there and you're done. I don't have to take the rest of the people through this gauntlet here, which would probably taken way more resources than we've taken. It will probably take way more damage than I even want to try to do. Getting out of here in the way we are, I think, is the best plan. And hey, we got some pretty good loot. We got a lot of gold. And for getting through that entire adventure, the reward is none. We get none. None. We got nothing for getting through there. But we do get to move on to finding their way. And that brings us to the end of this encounter. We were able to make it through an alternate path. We'll be moving into finding their way, and that one again has no story elements that are part of it, so we'll just move right into that adventure as soon as we get to it. It's going to be fantastic. I've got our characters all set to go. We made it through both of these 2 different encounters pretty unscathed. Now I know if I would have tried to get through this, I probably would have taken a lot of damage because I'm really getting low on resources. I'm using up I think almost all of my used once per ability items, which are super good, and just having this flying character is just bonkers. She is so good, out of control. That character is so good. So we're going to be moving into the next one, finding their way. I do hope you join me then. I hope you are enjoying this playthrough. If you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when the next adventure comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. Did you like my exit stage left maneuver, or should you think I should have gone through the gauntlet and died? If the designers didn't want me to go there, maybe they should have put a block path right there, but they didn't. So I was able to sneak on through that little area there. Thank you again so much for watching. And if you're excited to see the next adventure in Middara, then I need you to meet me at the table.